Today I'm going to talk about a subject that no one talks about. It's the acceptance of death. When I made peace with death, it brought so much freedom and expansion to my life. My point of this video is to bring it to your attention, because once you drag something out of its subconscious where it's hiding in the dark, where our deepest fears are hiding and lurking, and we put it out there in the light to examine it, even if it terrifies us, even if we're afraid of it, it starts to lose its power because now we're addressing it. And it's not creating a sense of resistance and tension in us. There's a lot of religions that try to explain what happens when we die, and I'm not here to get into all of that. It's coming to a place of just acceptance of what that is for yourself. When we are in denial of death, most of us are, here's what happens. First of all, we either get very small with our lives, and as our lives progress, as we get older, because we're denying it, we're not spending time talking about it, thinking about it, accepting it, embracing it, learning about death. Because we're in denial of it, it becomes very fearful to us. And the older we are, the more our subconscious knows it's impending, and the more our life starts to shut down and we stop really living, and all of our actions start to be based off of fears. All of our actions that come from fears are inauthentic. We are our best selves when we are acting from a place of love and freedom and expansion. But when you have not made peace with death, it's impossible for you in all areas of your life to be acting from that place of love, freedom, and expansion, because you're hiding this, our deepest fear, that you're going to die. And the reality is that you are. And as soon as you stop denying it or resisting it and make peace with that reality, it allows you to fully live. So that means each day you can embrace the richness of it, understanding that it might be your last, but not from a place of fear. It's also not from a place of desperation, like, oh my God, it's my last day, I have to do everything that I ever wanted to do because I might not live tomorrow, because that would cause us to live really recklessly. So it's balancing it with understanding that we might have 50 more years or we might have another day, but how do we show up in each one, fully embracing what that day holds, regardless if it's our last or our 50th. I don't have a lot of answers for what it is that will take you to that place, other than, first of all, addressing it and not being in denial of it, making peace with the fact that you are going to die, your body will cease to exist, and that does not have to be something shrouded in fear, anxiety, terror, and resistance, that it comes from a place of acceptance. And in light of the respect for that happening, what will you now do with your life that you have? With today really is all that you have. Maybe you'll have 50 years, but all you're really guaranteed of is this moment and this day. So does that mean you love people more? Does that mean you express more? Does that mean you give more? Does that mean you show up more? Does that mean that you have more amazing experiences? What does that mean when you start to make peace with the fact that you're not guaranteed tomorrow? The second thing is really connecting with your spiritual self. I think a huge part of coming to terms with death is understanding that you are not your body. You were assigned a body when you came into the world, but first you existed as a spirit and a soul, and that soul was breathed into a body. And that body exists right now for, anywhere from maybe up to 100 plus years at this point in history. There was a time in history when bodies existed longer. But when you come to deep connection with your spiritual self and with the source of your origination, whatever you call that, God, the universe, your creator, the source, whatever that is, when you come into a deep connection with that, you have a deep understanding that that is permanence. That is never going away. That's always been, always will be. It's unchanging, and it brings a lot of peace, because then death is simply a transition, a shedding of this bag of bones and blood and vessels and muscles, right? Just a shedding of that and a graduating into the spirit realm again. So I wanted to bring up this uncomfortable conversation. Hopefully you take some time to reflect upon death, what it means to you. Bring it out into light. Again, the more we're in denial, the more in resistance, the more shut down we're acting, and the more we have fear-based reactions that are all around preserving our life, which actually ends up shutting down our lives. I would love to know your thoughts and comments on this. Drop me a line, and thanks for watching.